returning to the floor for the Brooklyn Nets, had his 599th career game with over 25 points. Brooklyn fans rejoicing because KD returned to the court. He has missed a month and a half with a sprained left MCL. He looks good throughout, but missed a potential go-ahead three as the clock wound down. Finished with a team-high 31 points. Not enough to stop Bam and the Heat. We'll leave with the 113-107 dub.
So, Shae, you did mention that winner of those 599, and those are the career games with 25-plus for Kevin Durant. That's great. Only 6 players in league history have 600 career 25-point games. The crew, illustrious. LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, MJ, Kobe, and Wilt. But it wasn't enough for the group.
Not enough, but maybe they'll get some help later on. More on that in a little bit. Winner, if at first you don't succeed.
Dust yourself off and try again.
We always got to sing every show. Tyler Hero throws a lob to Bam out of bio. That's why his name is Bam, but it doesn't count because of a foul call. A minute in real time later, Hero throws another lob Bam's way. And this time, that alley-oop did count. This is what added to the Heat's dub last night. And so the Heat get the best of the Nets, Jay, which isn't good because the Nets are the 8th seed right now in the East. But the return of Kevin Durant and him not just kind of as a decoy, but him there actually to play meaningful minutes, obviously wasn't enough for the Nets to get over the hump. But now do things look maybe a little bit more positive going forward for Brooklyn?
A little bit more positive, but it's not clearly enough. I mean, no Jimmy Butler in this game, no Kyle Lowry,
right.
And yet still the Heat best a Nets squad that is trying to simply make the playoffs. People are talking about this group like, look, Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Who's going to beat them? Well, maybe next year that's the conversation, but when you've got less than 20 games left in the regular season, one question has been answered. Kevin Durant coming back from injury looks like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But we already knew that. When he came out the Achilles, he looked like Kevin Durant again. So that's not the question. The question is what happens with the mandate. How often are we going to see Kyrie and Kevin together? That's first. Mm-hmm. That hasn't been figured out. As we are under 20 games left to go in a regular season, a group trying to find a rhythm. Ben Simmons, we don't even have a timetable for a return here. So for a guy who hasn't been playing for as long as he has and for the mental issues and now apparently the physical issues he's dealing with, is that going to be enough time to gain a rhythm? I say resoundingly no. And now that we are aware that Joe Harris is out for the season, that takes away even more depth that is lacking from a Nets crew that struggles to finish games, that can't win games consistently. This team is a work in progress for next year, watch out. But I do not consider them a factor in any way, shape, or form with how they currently look. Kevin Durant is the greatest player in the world. He is not a savior. He's trying to tell people that much. This team is not dangerous.
Okay.
They're just not.
The one thing I will add to this in terms of building some chemistry and maybe getting some pieces back together in time perhaps is that Kyrie Irving can play in the Nets 4 out of 5 games. Their next game is Sunday in Boston. So you'll have Kyrie return and also Kevin Durant now with the game under his belt. So now if they can maybe start to build momentum, again, the next 4 out of 5 games, you have Kyrie, you have
Can they win
Kevin.
a championship even if you have those two
we'll
with
see.
this roster?
We'll see. They're playing Boston, who's playing really well right now. Maybe they can take care of them and build some momentum in the East. We'll see what happens. Speaking of those Celtics that they're going to play on Sunday, that's where we go next. Grizzlies in Boston that were taking on the Seas last night. That Boston defense keeping Ja Morant in check for the first half of the game. He eventually found his shot, scoring 30 in the second half, but could not be outdueled by Jayson Tatum, who scored 21 of his 37 points in the fourth quarter to give Boston the 120-107 win. And that's what I'm talking about. The Seas look really good right now, Jay.
Two of the best players in the league, two of the more dangerous teams in the league currently as well. By the way, shout out Jayson Tatum. He's a winner, not just for his play, his continued play, the star he clearly is. It was his birthday. But the best part about it, Shae, he's only celebrating his 24th year of existence on this planet. Sometimes it seems like he's out of this world. And to think he's only 24 years old, and he scored 37 on his 24th birthday, the most points scored on a player's birthday in C's franchise history.
Yeah, he's doing it all. Winner. We do this a lot. Where is Ja?
Stop looking for that man. He's living life above the rim or embarrassing somebody.
There's Ja. Just doing what Ja does.
Do it again, Shae.
Okay, here we go. Ja.
Kyle Anderson.
Pass back. There it is.
Beast mode.
Always.
Ja Morant. I mean, he's always got something in the tank to let you know what time it is. Face of the league, tipping off at the start of next season. I keep trying to tell everybody. Keep also trying to tell everybody, don't tune in and watch the Lakers. Just don't do it. Clippers sweep the Lakers as they hosted them last night. And the Lakers, the awful play is just simply continued.
It's brutal.
Continued. LeBron finished with 26 and 8 boards, while Reggie Jackson scored a career high. He was unstoppable. 36 points as the Clips complete a 4-game sweep of the Lakers with a resounding 132-111 win. They become the first team to defeat the King in 7 straight regular season games. The King of LA, the Clippers.
All right. That hurts for LeBron. All right, winner in your face. You mentioned Reggie Jackson being in his bag. He hit Russell Westbrook with a nasty crossover. Westbrook clearly not happy about it. Had some words. Next play here. Jackson hits 3 with Russ and LeBron all over him. Didn't matter. Jackson scored or assisted on 55 points for the Clips in this one and managed to score against 5 different defenders. And that, Jordan, is why the Clippers have slept the Lakers this year.
When are we going to get a good Russ highlight? This is kind of getting old. I'm sure it's getting old for LeBron and those Lakers. Loser. The whole shebang. This whole situation with the Lakers is one big loser. But let's focus in specifically on this loss. Into the third quarter is where we go. Clips outscored the Lakers, show 40-18 there. Lakers fans not happy with their team right now. On Wednesday, Draymond Green of the Warriors had this to say on his podcast about how Lakers fans are acting. And he feels, if you ask Draymond, they're being a little bratty.
I thought that was pathetic. I thought it was extremely pathetic. And like I said, I thought it was very distasteful from a fan base of an organization that has the most championships in the NBA. Like let's not be so like spoiled brats. Like, it's okay to be spoiled. Like, yeah, you can 100% be spoiled. We all get spoiled by things at times at one point in our life or another. But let's not be brats. And that was about as bratty as something that I've seen, considering that this team just won a championship not even a full 2 years ago. And now you're booing? Like, I thought that was utterly ridiculous. And like I said, it was very distasteful.
Look, the irony is not lost upon me that arguably the brattiest player in the league and how he deals with officials, Draymond Green, is scolding a certain fan base for being bratty. However, I played the game not at the level of a Draymond Green or any of these Lakers. I wish I had, but I do have an athlete background. So I'm going to let you go first as a fan, but also somebody who covers the sport. If you think it's fair that Draymond is calling these Lakers fans bratty for booing what is clearly a bad Lakers team.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I love Draymond Green for this exact reason, because he's not afraid to say exactly what he thinks when he thinks it. Now, look, he plays for a Warriors team, and he's been blessed with a fan base that isn't quite like this, right? When they have a down year or someone's off shooting, you're not going to see Warriors fans booing. That's not in their DNA. Lakers fans are accustomed to a gold standard, to winning, to having players on the court do things in their favor. When guys like Russell Westbrook takes the ball and he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, they're going to boo because they're not accustomed to that. And that's just what comes with the territory. So I love Draymond Green. He is who he is. Jordan, we always applaud that in terms of human beings being who they are. If this was, I don't know, Steph Curry calling out a fan base, I'd be like, bro, what are you talking about? That's not who, that is who Draymond is. That's why I love this about him. And he's got a point. He's got a very good point. Lakers fans are spoiled.
Here's the thing. Fans are going to boo. Fans are going to cheer. That's what fans do. They provide an environment. They react. They're not going to watch bad basketball and sit there with their hands underneath their hiney and not react. I mean, they're going to clap. They're going to boo. That's what they're going to do. Here's where I differ with what Draymond was saying. Was he onto something? Absolutely. You shouldn't boo the king. You shouldn't boo LeBron James because he came to your franchise, became the next legend to put on that jersey, and he delivered a title. So LeBron is off limits because LeBron is still playing elite basketball for this group in his 19th season, doing things we've never seen before. He does not deserve a single boo. The roster around him, go off. Go ham.
But he's the reason that roster around him is in place.
But these guys are professionals making a lot of money, Shae, and they're embarrassing themselves on a nightly basis.
Correct.
LeBron deserves better. Fans don't deserve anything. You pay, you choose to come, you deal with it. I could not stand for any boos that go LeBron's way for how he's performing and how his group's letting him down. Yes, he put that team together. That's fine. But I think Draymond's comments should be directed towards those that are attempting to attack LeBron with boos because there's no circumstance where that should be allowed, not for what he's done for Lakers fans.
I'll agree with that because I'll take that with a grain of salt. But I love Draymond just being who he is. Speaking of those Warriors, let's go around the association, catch you up on what you might have missed in the association last night. Let's start with those Warriors taking on the Mavericks. And Jay, not often we say this about Steph Curry, but he was
on a milk carton. He was MIA, Shae, for the first time in Steph Curry's career. Played the entire fourth quarter. I mean the entire fourth quarter without attempting a single shot. He played every minute of that final quarter. Now the bigger question is what's going on with the Warriors is they've now lost 3 consecutive games for the first time this season.
I'm not going to say I told you so, but didn't I say this? Here
Suns
come
look
those
vulnerable.
Grizz.
Warriors look a little bit frenzied.
Even though the Grizzlies did lose last night. Anyways, okay, same game here. Luka, because he was doing what kind of things?
Well,
magicianry is usually the word I use.
Magicianry. It was Luka Magic spin to win. He dropped a cool 41, but also added 10 boards and 9 assists, making Doncic first player in Mavs history 30 straight 40-point games at home.
3 straight, not 30 straight. Don't get crazy here. Mavs get the win. Bulls taking on the Hawks, and man, this game had me in my feelings as a Bulls fan because
revenge is best served in Atlanta, apparently. Trey's revenge.
Yeah, the Hawks were motivated by their 112-108 loss to Chicago back in February when Young made 3 of 17 shots from the field, scored only 14 in that game. He said, I owed them one. This time, Young made 11 of 18, and Hawks won big.
What's going on with
and
your
the Bulls
Bulls?
didn't look good. Yeah, Kings and Spurs here, Jay, and Coach Greg Popovich entered the contest with a win. 1 win short of history, but what happened?
Pop's got to wait.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes had 27 points, and the Kings held off San Antonio 115-112 on Thursday night, keeping Greg Popovich a victory shy of tying Don Nelson's NBA record.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.